this video, I am going to show you how I made a new axe eye drift, but not only that, I am also going to show you how I made a special tool to help me make drifts faster. So a little while back I found these really nice handles that I would like to use for some new axes. However, the handle shape for the eye is a little bit off from the axe eye drifts that I use, so I need to make a new one. Now, making drifts is something I dislike very much, and the reason for this is that it's very hard to forge to shape. Therefore, there is a lot of grinding to get the drift into the right shape. So that got me thinking, maybe I could make a top and bottom spring tool with the shape of an axe eye drift and use that to forge the complicated shape. Now, I have a distant memory that I've seen something similar to that in an old Instagram post or something way back when. To make the top and bottom tools, I start with 2 blocks of 4340 tool steel. After measuring out the middle of the pieces, I start drawing out the rough shape of the profile of the axe eye. And once that's traced on both sides of the block of steel, I simply begin to grind away the material using my angle grinder and my belt grinder. Once the rough grinding is completed, I use my trusty old files to try and true everything up to the best of my abilities. To help guide and hold these top and bottom tools, I take a flat bar of steel and bend it into the proper shape, which was way trickier than I had imagined. Alright, so the tool to make the tool is now completed and it's time to start working on the actual drift. Now, my favorite steel for these types of tools is SS2541 or 4340. Now, an argument could be made for other steels like H13 and whatnot. I've tried a lot of them. This is my favorite steel for sure. Now, the forge is heating up. Let's see if we can forge a drift using my new fancy tools. So before I start forging the piece of steel into the shape of a drift, I need to first square it up slightly so that I can more easily see how much material I need for each part and so on. Once everything is roughly measured out, I begin forging the handle of the drift. After the handle is forged, I flip it over and start working on the actual drift part of the drift. After I have drawn out the drift to a somewhat decent thickness and length, I start forging the rough shape of the drift, primarily focusing on the front of the drift that will be the thinnest part of the profile. This part also helps spread the material a little bit, which also means that it's going to banana a little bit on you. Something to keep in mind if you're going to forge drifts yourself. It's about time to try the new tool. However, I did realize that the handle portion of the drift was a little bit short, so I need to fix that first. Alright, let's try out the new tool and see if it works.
So that worked out extraordinarily well. I'm looking at this and I'm like, there's not much to fix here. I'm just gonna check so that the lines here are straight and fix the sharp edge that was left by the tool and on the other side. And then, yeah, I'm just gonna basically fix the transition from the handle to the drift, but then we're basically done. So that worked out well. So I'm just gonna fix those little things and clean it off and stamp it, and then we'll try it out and see how it works.
Now I chose not to heat treat the drift. In fact, I never heat treat my 4340 drifts. Now you could definitely make an argument for heat treating them. However, in my opinion, 4340 is already tough as can be without heat treatment, and I have never had any problems or issues with any of my drifts, and they are all unhardened 4340. It's now time to try out the drift and see if it works. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. So in today's video, we made an axe drift, but we also made a tool to make the axe drift. And I'm very happy with how this turned out and that the tool actually worked, which was very cool in my opinion. Now, nothing is perfect, of course. There's still a little bit I need to remove on the handle to get it to fit, but boy, was the fit nice. I mean, this is the axe that I hung, and man, it's a really nice and tight fit. And yeah, I'm very happy with how this turned out. And even though it's not perfect, it's going to save me a lot of time in the hanging process. And if you're interested in seeing more of handle making and hanging axes, I suggest you watch this video next. Also, thank you to everyone who supports what I do on Patreon and YouTube membership. You guys are the lifeblood of this channel. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.